Okay, just 1 to 2 minutes.
Yes.
I was in a courthouse serving as an expert witness. The inmates wanted me to be their expert witness. I did so horribly at court. The attorney was asking me questions. He was speaking a language that I just couldn't understand. And here I thought that I'm a brilliant physician, a gold medalist with multi-specialty, and I was just stumbling on that witness stand. So I felt very bad. I came home and I just sat and cried. And there, lo and behold, my husband came home early that day. He looked at me and he said, he calls me baby, and he said, "What's wrong with you? Why are you crying?" And I said to him, "You know what? I did so badly on that witness stand. That attorney must be thinking this is one of the stupidest doctors working here." He looked at me, and he's not like the other husbands who'll come and give me a hug and say, "No, it's going to be okay." He just stared at me and he said, "Go to law school." That was his message. And I looked at him and I said, "Yes, help me get into law school." At that moment, I was vulnerable. I wanted to know the law. I wanted to study it. The next year, I enrolled in law school because my husband's friend came home and gave me all the instructions on how to join this law school. This is a prestigious one at Northwestern University. I got into law, and I can tell you, I studied with such a passion, especially torts, which affects the medical profession. And I think I became a legend in corrections, being a physician, being an attorney, and so far won every case that the inmates came and brought against us. So that's how I made a decision.
Very good.
Does anybody want to respond also to that same question? How do you make big decisions? Mark.
I'll go for it. I guess I have to bring my own clapper with me.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters.
Good afternoon.
And yes, it was 1998. I was working for the department. I had just gotten promoted to senior in the Area Control Center in Southern Field Division, and I loved the job. It was great, but the problem with the job was it was rotating shift. And how many of you have ever worked rotating shift before? Where you work, different shifts every week. So my goal was eventually to get out of that. And the position for dispatcher came open here in Sacramento. So I told my wife, I said, "You know what, why don't we consider this?" So how do we go about making decisions? What we did was we kind of came up here we come up here and look around and see what Sacramento was about. So we did that 3 times until we got to the point where, you know what, this could work. We as far as making that big decision, we did it in increments. So we'd come up, visit the job, visit the area, drive around, and just kind of made it, will this work for our lifestyle? So in answer to your question, how we go about making big decisions is we kind of take it step by step, but moving forward. I asked my wife, I said, "Is this okay with you?" Because, that's really what, if it doesn't work for you, then let's not do it. But if it does, if it can, then let's go for it. So you make decisions step by step by step until it feels right. That's how we do it. All right? Thank you.
Okay. I want to ask, how did you choose your fill in the blank? College, major, career, house? Did you choose one of those and tell us how you made your choice? Let me get you started. I chose engineering. It was sort of like, hey, you're good at math and science. You want to be a civil engineer? I don't know, what do they do? Roads and bridges. All right. It's not, I always wanted to do this, or I knew someone in that major and I wanted to follow their path. Nothing like that. But some people knew since childhood what they wanted to do, or maybe they knew since childhood what they wanted to do, but then they changed their mind. Does that sound like anything that resonates with anyone in this room? Is there anything that you always wanted to do? Yes, sweet.
Okay, currently I'm a control system engineer, so mainly about automating, how the generators are controlled, how, spillway gates open, everything computerized. We write the software code that goes into the hardware that controls the mechanical, so mainly electrical, mechanical, and software combined. So how did I get to that? I want to say about close to 18 years ago. Yeah, 18 years ago. Just trying to think. I was working, not here. It's in another country, in Singapore. I was working at a plant. They make Centrum and also baby powder. They make like vitamins. And I was doing a shift there. I was not an engineer there. I was just doing the plant work. And doing a night shift there. And one day, what happened was they have a lot of, machineries and everything. And one day, one operator in the assembly line, there's a baby powder formula coming down, and he was supposed to do cleaning inside the machines and everything. And the line was going, right? Powder comes down, and then all the powder goes into, all the cans and everything, all stuff. But at that time, the automation was not that good enough. The plant was not really well automated, and something got jammed at the middle. It's a real story. So something got jammed at the middle on the conveyor belt, and with any downtime on the assembly line, it costs a lot of money. So he got nervous. The operator, he tried to put his hand in to take the stuff out, and the blade came down because the blade turns around to put the powder in and cut his fingers. And so he lost 4 fingers. I was just right there in the wrong. And all the blood, all the baby powder, everything, it's like, oh my God. And all the little, finger pieces, I tried to collect one and then try to grab, and it's like, yeah. He was able to detach only 2. We sent him to the hospital, but the other 2 were never able to. So it was a horrible incident. It came into my mind. I was like, you know what? There are a lot of things that we could do, maybe better sensors. We try to write better code to say, what the response time would be and how to make safety things and machineries, make it more like robotics, make machines more intelligent so that it's better for the operations in there and also better efficiency, everything. And then I knew that I wanted to be in the control system engineer, that's what it's called. And I started, studying in the college, and then came here for my bachelor's and the master's. And so I am happy every day that I'm in this field. I feel I'm making a difference, So I just want to let you know. Before water department, the DWR, I worked in the assembly lines as well with Pepsi and Coke, and so it's exciting. I just want to let you know that it makes me happy every day. Very nice.
So we still have a few minutes. If anybody else wants to share about how they got where they are, whether it's where you live, where you work, where you... Yeah, Dr.G?
I have to come there?
Well, real quick, is anybody else who hasn't responded yet have anything that they'd like to, just because you're conscious? And do you know? Okay. No?
This has to do with the career, or it could be anything. That's
Anything.
Okay.
But typically we go like once and give everybody an opportunity.
Yes.
Did you want to still
Wanna still do it?
give it
We
a...
have to.
Is there anybody else who wants to do it?
Not that
I will do it.
Oh,
All
Jack,
right.
will you...
You don't want to.
Sure, Jack.
All right.
Why don't you? Then you got 4.
I get it. Yeah.
Early 20s, huh? So I'm going to go back early 20s. This was 23 years old, and I used to work for a company, and I was doing a lot of solution sales. Basically saying that I'm going to solve your problems. That's the tagline. So I go to industry and say, oh, you got a problem? I'm going to solve this problem. And in automation controls. That's the background. So I went to meet a gentleman by name George Theriault. I still remember his name. So he used to work in Charlottesville, Virginia for GE, General Electric. And he was visiting India, and I happened to meet him and talk to him in an evening for a dinner. And he was so impressed with my conversations. And he said, Jack, would you be willing to become the first systems integrator of GE in India? I'm like, wait, what? So I'm here to sell something because I work for a company, and you're asking me to take on this new role, which is nothing but, do you want to become an entrepreneur by yourself? Do you want to launch your own company? And at that moment, it's a decision-making time because I have been working for 5 years, and then I got my salaries coming in. I'm trying to make my name, and here is an opportunity. I need to make a decision whether to say yes or no. Fortunately, I said yes, and the decision was entirely based on emotions, that I want to be an entrepreneur. This is an opportunity, it comes once in a lifetime, I need to say yes. So I said yes, and I launched my company in 1994, and I sold it in 1999. So my decision at that time was very young, it was purely based on emotions, and probably should have used data at that time, but it was very young, and it was purely on emotions. Thank you so much.